Our chemistry is fine. He hasn't forgotten how I play, and I haven't forgotten how he plays. So it's the same.
Do you feel like your guys' games, there's a lot of things about it that kind of complement each other?
No, we just know how to play the game. You know, he knows the game of basketball. He knows when to make cuts. He's just a smart player, and I think I'm as smart as players too.
It's going to help us out a lot. Like I said, having your floor general out there, and you can tell he wants to win every single game. Just the energy that he gave us tonight was just amazing. He was getting everybody involved. He was talking to everybody on defense. He was getting us together throughout the whole game, so we knew what we wanted to do on the offensive end, and it was just amazing. I love playing with him, and I'm pretty sure everybody else does as well.
Back for part 2 now. January, 2-15 for the Celtics. That is as bad as it gets in the NBA.
Bad.
February, 1-0, as Evans pointed out. It's 1,000% winning percentage there.
It's as bad as it ever been for the Celtics, right? Wasn't that their worst?
Is that their worst month in franchise history?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty bad month.
So
like
clearly,
11% wins.
Clearly, they need to win.
Record-breaking stench coming from the TD Garden in January.
Okay, well, they smell better today because Avery Bradley is back. You have that backcourt together. As Brad said before the game, they pretty much have never really played with each other for an extended period of time. Injuries have always just timed really poorly for Rondo and Bradley. And the results today were fantastic, having those two guys out there, because they're both much improved shooters now, and they're obviously both tenacious defenders. And they did a very good job on the Magic backcourt today. Aaron Aflalo, he had a pretty good game at 18 points, but Oladipo shot 3 for 16, getting covered by Rondo most of that game. How much better is this team, Jimmy, with Bradley and Rondo back? Are they able to get back to being a 500 ball club?
500? No, they won't be a 500 team.
I mean, 500 for the month. I mean.
Oh, for the month?
Yeah, just like from here on out.
Yeah, I think so. Especially this month. I think we were looking at the schedule, and the Celtics play
a lot of Kings,
some fellow crappy teams,
some fellow crappy teams.
So I think you'll definitely see more than 2. Obviously, you're going to see more than 2 wins. I think in February. Not going out on a huge limb by saying that.
Right.
But listen, with Rondo and Bradley, it's your starting backcourt. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, whenever you have the guys that you expect to be your starting backcourt in the game together, finally, you would hope that they improve. So yeah, with those 2 guys, I think the defense will get a lot better with Bradley. I mean, that guy is such a pest. I mean, he's playing full court defense today for some of the game.
That's regular defense,
right, for him.
Bradley.
Exactly. I just can't imagine like opposing guards coming in and being like, damn, I gotta play the Celtics tonight. I gotta play Avery Bradley tonight. Like, this is gonna suck. But I really think that with him and Rondo, the more games they get together, like we're gonna notice the improvement. I think those guys, Stevens talked about it, they are gonna complement each other because with Bradley, we know he can't play the point well.
Right.
Rondo can set Bradley up, and Bradley's become a better shooter. So we're gonna see just how well he is at shooting this year.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, January was brutal, but it was brutal for, I think, 5 reasons. I mean, number 1, the schedule, 17 games in 31 days. Number 2, the travel. They're flying up and down the West Coast constantly for a week and a half.
Good teams.
Number 3, the good teams. All those West Coast teams are really, really good. Number 4, the injuries. And number 5, all the personnel shakeups. People getting traded every day. I mean, like, it was a lot to deal with chemistry-wise.
Good point.
This month, none of those 5 problems. None of them.
There might be some shakeups. Who knows?
There might be some shakeups. That's possible.
I mean, Brandon Bass might not be here in 2 weeks.
And Jeff Green might not be here. We'll see.
That's right.
But I mean, yeah, the schedule gets softer. They're playing a lot of teams that are injured, like they are, like the Hawks. They're playing some teams that are just straight up bad, like the Utah Jazz. Like, it's a really soft schedule, with the exception of a couple of teams in Texas, Dallas and San Antonio. But yeah, they could easily win 6 or 7 out of these 11 games this month. And yeah, like Rondo said, they have some time to rest, some time to recuperate, and it's going to be a lot easier having a softer and lighter schedule.
Well, let's not forget, they do lose to bad teams too. I mean, the Celtics
equal opportunity losing.
All types of teams.
As bad as the teams are that they're playing, the Celtics, statistically, looking at the record, they're probably still worse than a lot of these bad teams coming in. So
they did lose to a pretty bad team on Wednesday, so you got that.
I mean, I wouldn't just say, oh, they'll go 7-4, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it's still going to be difficult. Yeah. I would say if they go 6-5 in February, I'd be surprised. I still think that they'll end up with a south of 500.
Well, a factor there, believe it or not, is Chris Johnson, guy that signed on a 10-day deal.
Yeah.
And he's come in and he's replaced that void that was left when they traded Courtney Lee away. He's doing a lot of the same things that Lee did. Jimmy, do you see him sticking around and being a factor for this team in February?
I think he should. I think he's done everything that he possibly could to prove that he belongs on an NBA roster, and why not the Celtics? I mean, they clearly could use him. Honestly, he's outplayed Jeff Green since he's been on the team. He's literally, he has. I mean, aside from that one game that Jeff Green had where he went off, I think it was in Washington. I think Chris Johnson's just been a better player on both ends of the court. So I would be surprised if they didn't re-sign him for the end of the season. I think he's done everything that more than anyone expected him to do when they signed him.
Right. I mean, this is the first time that they've had Rondo, Bradley, and Jared Bayless all on the team and healthy at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a weird timing to ask that question because he's their fourth guard.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind having him on the team.
His minutes will go down, but
yeah, his minutes will go way down. He'll be kind of just an injury insurance policy.
He can play forward too, though.
It's a little bit small. I mean, I don't know. I think that he's a good insurance policy in case somebody gets hurt again, but I don't think he's in the rotation when everybody's healthy.
No.
Not playing ahead of Gerald Wallace when he's
Gerald Wallace is still a very solid player. I think he's
right.
got plenty of minutes.
Right, but like I said, I mean, you got to have those end of bench. You got to have those end of the bench guys. Anyways, I just feel like he's earned that at least with the team that he's played. So,
all right, we're gonna condense this. So, boxing out and baller of the night.
Boxing out and baller of the night.
You got to give them both.
Well, I don't really. How do I do? Okay, my baller of the night is Jared Sullinger, and the reason I'll say is that we saw this team play the Magic earlier this season, and he could not play against Nikola Vucevic. He was just not taking that matchup well at all. He was just getting manhandled. Tonight, he looked like he was kind of comparable to Vucevic. He was pushing around a little bit, showing some physicality, and managing to score in the post pretty well. So that's my baller and my stats. I mean, Sullinger was, 21 and 12. That's a pretty nice night for him. So baller and stat of the game right there.
Double dose of Sully.
And he was named the best offensive rebounder in the league by Avery Bradley.
That was a thing that happened.
Pretty good. Definitely up there, right?
Yeah, he is.
My baller is going to be Rondo. This was obviously his best game so far. He looked really comfortable on the court. He was seeing guys the way we've seen him in the past do that. That really nice pass to Bass in the first quarter was like classic Rondo. That bounce pass there in the lane. But yeah, when he's on, the Celtics win. And today we saw that. And I think it's going to take time, but games like this, I think it's a very positive sign that he is coming back from this injury. And there's going to be nights where maybe he looks off, but he still has this in him. You know what I mean? Like he can still put together nights like this. So that was good to see. And my stat is lead changes too. They both were early in the first quarter. I thought the Celtics they held off so many Magic runs. You know what I mean? The Magic would claw back and it would be like 3-point game or 5-point game or 1-point game or whatever, and they held them off. And I thought that was pretty cool, pretty important for them to do.
I agree with Rondo. And my stat of the night is Rondo. He went 9 for 11 from the field.
Your stat of the night
is
Rondo.
A stat in himself. He went 9 for 11 from the field, but he went 7 for 7 inside of the arc. So, okay. I mean, the 3-point shot definitely is better, but just to hit all of his shots inside the arc. He had 4 shots from the top of the key and then 3 right near the rim. He's pretty much locking in his mid-range game right now. He doesn't have to stretch it out all the way to the 3-point line to be like a really effective player to switch a defense. But it looks like that kind of anywhere from between the free throw line, between the paint there, up around the circle at the top of the key. He's pretty reliable from there now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, that's it then.
That's it.
Short Garden Report. For Evans, for Jimmy, I'm Jared Weiss. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Right.
Rest in peace to Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think an actor we all love and admire. So that was pretty devastating news to get during the game today. So we'll leave you on a sad note, but let's hear from the players, hear from the coaches as we take you out of here. This is the Garden Report on Celtics Blog and CLNS Radio.
Pretty much just telling me, he said my body language sucked. Looked like my attitude sucked, and he said that's not what got you here. And pretty much try to whip me back in shape, as my other 2 fathers did, Julian as in my brother, and Jay as in my brother as well. I was fortunate to have 3 fathers in my life, technically, according to them.
I definitely think so. I'm definitely comfortable in the pick and roll with Rondo. He's definitely comfortable with me, and I think he made plays for everybody tonight. Very comfortable. Rondo, he's a coach on the floor. He's leading us, and it felt great.
Huge priority for me. I think that those guys play. They seem to be on paper really good fits, right? But it's better to see them in person. And he made Rondo, for instance, made a couple of plays where he was pulling up and shooting off the ball screen. We went up by 3. He had a pick away for Avery. Avery came off the down, shot it in. We go up by 5. Their strengths fit each other well on both ends of the floor.